Well, hell, guys, colour me confused, because this was an interesting episode of Orange. I mean, parts of it made me absolutely fall in love with it. Other parts didn't really deliver as much. I mean, the first half of the episode was incredible. We got to see that soul-crushing reality in which Kakeru went through life not being looked after and ended up killing himself. Kind of. I mean, that was the interesting thing there as well. The idea that even then, it didn't seem like he was trying to kill himself. He was certainly contemplating it. He had been having suicidal thoughts, but it felt to me like he just needed to clear his head. It was actually just an accident. He went out riding his bike after feeling like shit, but he wasn't necessarily looking to run in the way of a truck. He still wanted to live. He was still interested in the future. At least, it definitely doesn't seem like he made the conscious decision to kill himself. It certainly seems like after especially that mother's text that told him to actually go on, continue living and enjoy life, that eventually he would have calmed down and moved on and actually had a brighter future with everyone, which is really sad. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I cried a little bit at that. It was really powerful. The idea that this mother, who I've been pretty horrible to as well. I mean, I suggested that she had mental illness. I suggested that she possibly killed herself just to get at Kakeru, just to make him feel that guilt. But she wasn't that type of woman at all. I mean, she probably did have mental illness. But it seems like more than that, she did just die of natural causes. And Kakeru just blamed himself because he wasn't there. And she actually had her best interests out for him. I mean, that letter went through it all. It was kind of ridiculously sad. I mean, I'm calling it a letter, really. It's a text message. But it was the same kind of idea as those letters that come from the future. Man, it was so deep. The idea that she had done everything to look after him. She'd divorced the father because the father was abusive. She'd made him leave the area because she could see he was getting bullied. And she was scared of him actually joining another club and possibly getting bullied again. So even though these were all bad decisions, I mean, they were decisions that make sense for a woman in her mental state. I mean, we could see what kind of mental distress she was under now with the abusive husband passed. The idea that her son was being bullied. She wanted to have him around her all the time because she was worried about him. She doesn't want him to get hurt. She already had that done to her where she was in an abusive relationship and stuck around and, you know, got the shit knocked out of her despite probably continuously telling herself it's fine, got to stay with him for Kakeru, and then eventually left and then got blamed by Kakeru for leaving. Man. So yeah, that was deep. That was powerful. And the idea that he might not have wanted to die, but all of his friends in the future straight up think they didn't help him enough and that he did commit suicide 100%. It's just painful too. I mean, when he tried to come out and tell his friends about his mother and they just laughed it off, those friends were horrible little shitheads. I am so glad Naho and Suwa managed to keep him away from them. Because all they really wanted to talk about was, oh yeah, it wasn't our fault that you were getting bullied, right? Yeah, totally not me. Not me, it was the senpais. What assholes. They didn't care about hanging out with Kakeru. They just wanted to relieve themselves of their guilt. They wanted to feel that feeling of having Kakeru say, oh yeah, no, it wasn't your fault and I'm fine. I'm playing football over here now. Yes, I called it football, not soccer. Fight me, I'm English. But yeah, no, they were dicks. And the fact that that led to Kakeru doing his first suicide attempt. Jesus, man. So yeah, this episode made me care about Kakeru a lot more. And then it made me fucking hate him. I mean, I see where his logic is coming from in this. Where he's gotten close to Naho in this second universe where they've gotten the letters. And that confuses me as much as it is now. I mean, the idea that they did write these letters and essentially somehow managed to get them through the Bermuda Triangle. Do they even know the letters got through? Did they study it and then find a way to send them back? Or did they just literally throw the letters out to sea and hope that they ended up back in time? That's the kind of thing that I want to know. They're just kind of glancing over it. They should have just left it all a mystery, because explaining it to that level with like, oh, some people think there's a black hole in the Bermuda Triangle. No. Should have just stayed the hell away from all of that craziness and left it with the teacher's explanation. But yeah, Kakeru in this second universe, he's trying essentially to distance himself from Naho. He's got this whole thought in his mind where he's screamed at her and then broken his phone, and he thinks he's hurt her and he doesn't want to hurt her. He doesn't want to be like he thinks his mother was. He thinks his mother was like offensive to him, but he also thinks he killed his mother in this timeline, and he thinks that he's damaging Naho and he doesn't deserve to be around her, so he's essentially being a dick, cutting all contact but pretending it's completely normal, just trying to emotionally damage her, and so eventually hope that she'll move on to Suwa without him. But, you know, it's just a dick move. It's just really hurting her. And she's doing her best to actually talk to him and shit. And I get, like I said, I get why he's trying to do it. He thinks he's not a good enough person to be around her. He does love her, but he doesn't want to hurt her. So he's trying to do that distance, but it's just such a dickish way to do it. Oh, man. So, yeah. Hating Kakeru now. This timeline is making me really hate Kakeru. Even though I understand his logic, Naho really is trying her best. I like that at the end of this episode she got really decisive. I mean, she sounded like a woman. She sounded more decisive than her 27-year-old self, where she was just straight up like, just wait for Valentine's Day. Wait for Valentine's Day, promise me. Like, and then you could tell she's going to come in on Valentine's Day, give him the chocolate, talk to him properly, tell him to stop being such a little bitch. I mean, she probably won't do any of that. We'll see what she actually does. But I'm sure that's the idea that she's got in her mind, is that she'll do something amazing for Valentine's Day and win him over. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Naho stepping up. I'm sure Suwa's going to be involved in helping her a lot. We've got all the gang watching what's going on. I'm surprised none of them have actually tried to talk to Kakeru yet, because seriously, like, Suwa having some words with Kakeru would probably help quite a bit. Would probably guide them down that road of him being able to realize what a dick he's being to be in Naho, and that he doesn't have to do that. But whatever. It was a good episode. It was good. Like I said, really emotional in the first half. Really made me sad when he found that text message. And then just really, God, annoying in the second half. That teenage drama bullshit. I mean, it's still powerful, like I said, and I'm looking forward to Naho stepping up. So we'll see what happens in the finale. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode in the comment section below. And if you like this review, wreck that like button like you mean it. Subscribe if you haven't already to see more. And I will see you guys next time.